In the very heart of old Siam, where great rivers meet, there sits a silent witness, a sacred guardian so immense, so ancient, it was here long before the legendary kingdom it would come to protect was ever even imagined. This is the story of Luang Pho To. You see, this isn't just a statue. It's a chronicler, cast in stucco and gold, an ancient soul who was here before the beginning and has watched over every single chapter of a nation's story. To truly understand the profound significance of this figure, we have to go back, way back, to a time before the golden spires of Ayutthaya even pierced the sky. This is where the legend truly begins. 26 years. I want you to remember that number. It's the key that unlocks just how deeply rooted this sacred figure is in the very soil of this land. It was here before the kingdom itself. That's right. The revered Luang Pho To Buddha Chronicle, one of our most important historical records, tells us this great Buddha image was created in the year 1867 of the Buddhist era. That's a full 26 years before the great King Phutthong officially founded the Ayutthaya kingdom. Think about that. It was here first, just waiting. And just consider the sheer scale, the identity of the sentinel. While Thais know him with this deep, heartfelt affection as Luang Pho To, which means the great reverent father, his formal name is Phra Trairatthanayok. He's a masterpiece of late Phutthong art, nearly 20 meters wide and 19 meters high. We're talking about a literal mountain of faith, cast in stucco and covered in gold leaf. But the story of this place isn't just one of piety, it's also a story of passion. A deeply human and ultimately tragic legend of love and royal misunderstanding is woven into the very name of the temple that houses this great Buddha. Our story begins with two incredible figures from different worlds. King Sai Nam Phuing, the ruler of the ancient Thai city of Ayutthaya, and Phanangcheong Mok, a princess of the Chinese imperial court. This was a union of destiny, one meant to bind two powerful realms together. So after their marriage in China, the royal fleet sailed to Ayutthaya. But upon their arrival, the king, maybe he was busy with state matters, who knows, he made a fateful choice. He sent his courtiers to greet his new queen, instead of going to the riverbank himself. Well, the princess felt this was an enormous slight, an insult to her honor, to her station, and so, born from pride and hurt, she refused to leave her royal barge, setting a tragic course in motion. Now, when the king heard this, he completely misunderstood. He thought she was just being playful, engaging in a little tiff between newlyweds. So he sent back a message in kind, a light-hearted joke that he would come to regret for the rest of his life. But for the princess, so far from home, so deeply in love, his words were not a joke. They were a rejection. And in that moment of absolute, profound despair, she took her own life. Her heart was utterly broken. The king, just consumed by grief and remorse, built a temple on the very site of her cremation. He named it Wat Phanangcheong, the Temple of the Sulking Princess. Over time, that name softened into what we know today, Wat Phanangcheong. It stands as an eternal monument to a love story that ended in tragedy. And so, this colossal figure, born from a legend of love, would then become something else entirely. A silent witness to a kingdom's 4 centuries of incredible splendor, and eventually, its darkest final hour. For 417 years, Luang Pho To watched over the Ayutthaya kingdom. He saw its triumphs, its golden ages, its magnificent kings. And then came this year, 1767, the year the kingdom would fall. And here we have one of the most powerful, most moving stories from the royal chronicles. It's recorded that on the eve of the city's final destruction, as enemy armies were closing in, the great statue did the unthinkable. It wept. Tears of sorrow flowed from its eyes for the fate of the people it had watched over for so long. But after the fall, from the ashes of a completely destroyed kingdom, the statue's role transformed yet again. It became a beacon of hope. Its legend grew through tales of miracles that restored faith to a broken people. Years later, during the early Bangkok period, a terrible cholera plague swept through the land. The people of the old capital, desperate and dying in huge numbers, turned to their ancient protector for deliverance. They prayed with everything they had. They collected the sacred water and the ash from the incense burned at his altar. With unwavering faith, they drank it and applied it to their bodies. And the legend says a miracle occurred. The plague receded from those who sought his protection. This event cemented his status as a benevolent, incredibly powerful guardian. And through the centuries, this reverence wasn't just from the common people. Take a look at this. This timeline shows an unbroken line of royal patronage. From King Naresuan the Great, way back in the Ayutthaya period, all the way to the kings of the current Chakri dynasty, Siam's rulers have consistently honored and restored this sacred witness, making sure its legacy endures. But the statue's significance goes even deeper, becoming this unique spiritual bridge, a powerful symbol of cultural fusion that is still vibrant to this very day. It's amazing, really. The statue holds this profound dual identity. To the Thai people, he is Luang Pho To, a name said with deep familial respect. But to the Thai Chinese community, he is Sampo Kong, a name that invokes the triple gem of Buddhism and offers protection. He is a spiritual home for two cultures, completely united as one in their faith. And this shows us it's not some static relic in a museum. It is a center of living, breathing faith where traditions can evolve. For hundreds of years, a highlight of worship was the ceremony of tossing a massive cloth to drape the statue. But this meant people had to climb all over the 700-year-old figure, causing wear and tear. So in 2017, a really thoughtful change was made. The tradition was respectfully modified to protect the statue, showing this beautiful, delicate balance between active devotion and the duty of preservation. When you step back and look at the whole story, Luang Pho To is so much more than a colossal statue. He is the embodiment of the Ayutthayan spirit itself, a silent witness to a nation's birth, a divine mourner at its tragic fall, a miraculous healer in its rebirth, and a timeless bridge between two great peoples. And this leaves us with one final thought. For over 700 years, this great Buddha has watched empires rise and fall. But he has also watched these silent, personal stories of the millions who have come here seeking solace. He has witnessed history, yes, but he has also witnessed the human heart. So the question is, what story has he seen in yours?